So today we have Florian Kandler with us. Welcome. You're a serial entrepreneur from Austria and you've been a former CEO of Ulmon. Great to have you with us today. So basically what we always say is that when you start thinking about your prototype, you actually have a customer value proposition in mind. So I would like to know basically what was your customer value proposition, what you actually wanted to validate, and how did your prototype look like?
We had built an app that people used on the trip for orientation, for calling up information, organizing the places they want to see. What we tried to solve is how can we deliver that information in a consumable and digestible way. And we saw around us that lists worked well. You have top 10 lists, a lot of content on the web are listicles, so articles that actually list the top 10 things of this and this. We wanted to take that to the next level. We didn't want to have a list on a certain location, but we want to mix it up with where do you want to go and what are your interests.
So could you give us a little bit of a perspective of, how did you build the prototype? What did you do? And why did you do it this way?
So, of course, we did, questionnaires and research, but that's always theory. You ask people, would you use this or would that be interesting? So we wanted to take a step further from that. It was very tempting for us to throw a feature in the product because we would potentially quickly get data points back of how they use it. But there are two problems with that. Number one, it takes time to implement it in the product. And the other thing is, if you put something in the product, you have to get the attention for that feature. So you need normally to be very aggressive to put it in the face of people, and that might be disturbing to a big audience. So even if it's tedious, often it's worth it building something, testing something manually. So what we did was basically come up with lists for destinations. We want to test it with people who are on trips. They're running around the city in Vienna. Let's go get hold of them and get them in the hands of a prototype. And the prototype was basically a stack of paper. Each page had a top 10 list with a topic. On top of it was a sheet explaining roughly our project and trying to encourage some kind of, that they a little bit fall in love with us struggling to build something for them. We love travelers. And here's something that only you get. You frame it like this to create positive sentiment from those people that you want something back, the feedback. And we just give it to them and say, hey, use it on your trip. And also said, well, give us your feedback at the end. And there was just an email address at the end of the paper. First
of all, I would be curious on who went out there. I mean, was it you? Was it like employees of yours, other co-founders?
Well, no, I did it. I mean, I went out there and go door to door. Expect that maybe even more than half don't want it. If you don't hide behind your computer and you have a product that you deliver online because it's a software, or in an organization you have the sales team who then goes out, that's convenient and that's tempting. But go out there and do it. Don't worry about it. You just have to take that step. And maybe to sweeten the deal for everybody who listens to this, it's so helpful having these personal contacts, but also business professionals, some very seasoned, heads of departments or team leaders. Don't be shy getting out there. Try to do it yourself, even if it's painful.
And now if you think on a more general level, you typically work with corporate teams and startups. And what would be your advice on prototyping?
Well, my big belief and biggest learning is that when it's about prototyping, that's where you cannot use templates. So if you read a book with that explains some ideas, how other people did it, that's good inspiration, and you should definitely consume it and look at this because it stimulates your idea, but in the end it's creativity. And this could be completely outside the product, could be in a completely different context, but you're testing the same hypothesis. Then bring a lot of people in the room to brainstorm, because there is where the magic happens. It's totally worth it.
Perfect. So Florian, thank you very much for sticking around with us. Our website, here actually you can find more of this awesome content. In that sense, thank you very much for being around. Florian Kandler, thank you very much for being here with us.
Very welcome, Stefan.